What up, everybody? It's your boy JB, aka Spoken, and I am here. We are here with another thing of Unspoken Truth Sports Radio. We got my dog on the line.
What up, this B Ham.
Yeah, be ham, man. So yeah, man, another episode of the Bucs getting they behind. Total heck up. 34-17. The Bucs now dropped to 3-7. The Saints are 8-2. Congratulations to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for losing again. What a blessing! What a blessing! What a blessing! Jameis Winston actually proved me wrong. And got more yards than Drew Brees. So forget what you saying, B Ham. Jameis Winston threw 2 touchdowns and 4 interceptions, which means he's a better quarterback than Drew Brees, even though Drew Brees ain't throw no interception. And he threw for 28, 35, 228, and 3 touchdowns and no interception. But yeah, also too.
And you skipped over Jameis' pick 6, pretty much.
First off, to let everybody know, I only saw 70% of the game. So, the reason why I'm doing this is because I am being consistent. I'm being consistent, but Brandon have to keep calling me up. BHAM have to keep calling me up saying, hey, man, you ready to do this? And I'm steady dragging my foot or doing other stuff because I'm tired of us getting our behinds messed up and us losing, bro. I saw Mike Evans drop the pass and all that junk, man. We ain't got Vernon Hargrave or Hargrave this time, man. But this time, man, you know what? We 3-7. If we win the rest of our game, we can go 9-7. Then we can go to the wild card, and then we can play them 3 rounds, go to the conference championship.
JB, I'm stopping you there. There is no way.
And then we go into the Super Bowl, bro.
Unless Jesus himself is returning, there is no way the Bucs go and win the rest of their games this season to end the season.
They are going to win the rest of the games this season, bro.
They are not winning 6 straight.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are, bro. They are winning 6 straight. We're going 9-7, and then we're gonna be in the playoff hunt. We're gonna be in the playoff hunt.
Let me get my life ready for Jesus and for his return to earth, then, because that's the only way the Bucs win 6 straight. They are terrible. But no, I mean, I kind of want to hit on 3 points for this podcast. One is the point we talk about all the time, this secondary. So I want to talk about the secondary, offensive line, and Jameis Winston. Those are my 3 points for today. Let's start out with the obvious, secondary. I tweeted this out yesterday. I will keep saying it until the offseason passes us and we see some changes. I don't believe how Jason Light and Bruce Arians sat back before the deadline and looked at this secondary and said, yes, we are good, especially when the Bucs were ranked last in the NFL in terms of giving up yards to quarterbacks. And it just, I don't know if Jason Light is purposely trying to get fired or what, but I don't know how the Glazers keep him for next season. I mean, this is atrocious. The Bucs have a worse record than they had last year, and they looked terrible last year. They look even worse this year. Quarterbacks are coming in, throwing at will. Like I told you last week, I told you Drew Brees was going to come in and shred the secondary to pieces, and that's exactly what he did. It just, I know they're young, but that is not an excuse for an NFL team this late in the season. And if you know your secondary is young, then go out and get a veteran to be in there. You release Vernon Hargraves and during the season for what? If you would have released him in the offseason, okay, but releasing him in the middle of the season does nothing for this team.
I mean, you didn't want him on the squad.
No, I didn't. But there's no point in releasing him during the middle of the season. I mean, at least you had someone with experience out on the field. Yeah, he was not living up to the expectations, but I mean, did you see the game yesterday? I mean, you literally have a secondary who doesn't know what they're doing. That one touchdown, I can't remember. I think it was the third quarter when Drew Brees threw it to Michael Thomas. He was wide open. It was a busted coverage. We are too late in the season for these busted coverage plays to be happening. It was one thing if this would have been August, September, beginning of the season. This is halfway through November where playoff tickets are getting punched and positionings are happening, and your team sits at 3-7 because you have been inept to make moves to change this secondary. And that secondary has been the disaster of the team, because honestly, if you think about it, JB, if the Bucs would have had any kind of secondary, we would be talking about a different team right now, because games in the beginning of the season, the Bucs would have won. So instead of being at 3-7, perhaps the Bucs would have been looking at like a 5-5, or 6-4 right now, instead of a 3-7. If we would have had somewhat of a secondary, and the season wouldn't have looked half as bad if the secondary would have been of competence. Because truthfully speaking, JB, the Bucs have not shut out anybody. If you look at the 10 games the Bucs have played this season, they have not shut out any quarterback that they have faced, which is very sad. So that's my first point, is the secondary continues to be the Achilles heel of this team, continues to be the reason why the Bucs are terrible, and continues to be part of the reason transitioning to the second point of why Jameis Winston has been terrible consistently in a Buccaneers uniform. When Jameis has to constantly throw, again, he's a pro, but I will say this, that when Jameis has to constantly throw, you are asking him to make turnovers. And yesterday, the Bucs only ran the ball 8 times, which set a franchise record. They only ran the ball 8 times. They were down 20-0 to start the game. Now, granted, Jameis did throw an interception that didn't help that 20-0 coming out. And that interception, I mean, he gets it on paper, but it wasn't his fault. That goes to O.J. Howard. I don't know what O.J. Howard was thinking. Even Bruce Arians yesterday said O.J. is having a terrible season.
Yeah, he ain't having a good season at all, man. He keep fumbling the ball and dropping the ball and all kind of stuff. He's not having a good. They need to put my boy Tanner Hudson back out there.
Which brings up, and I'll talk about. Actually, I'm adding another point, Jason Light. Because that whole O.J. Howard situation brings up to me Jason Light. But yeah, so continue with Jameis. Jameis threw 4 interceptions yesterday. I'm going to give him 3. The one with O.J. Howard was not his fault. But even 3 interceptions is terrible. And it's, again, not like one game we've seen Jameis throw 3-4 interceptions. This has happened multiple times this year. And for a 5th-year quarterback asking for a contract, that is unacceptable. And I'm just scrolling now, reading. We know Colin Kaepernick had a sham of a workout this weekend. The NFL set him up. And I saw the Bucs did send a rep there, and I saw it. And it was like, as bad as Kyle Allen and Jameis Winston is playing, if it's all about football, the Bucs should give Colin Kaepernick a look. And so I thought, the Glazers and their political backing is probably not going to let it happen. But why not go and get a Colin Kaepernick and see what he could do in a Bucs uniform with the Mike Evans to throw to and a Chris Godwin back there, and Kaepernick has the speed to run with this terrible line that the Bucs have. Because and that was a point also brought up, is that with this Buccaneers offensive line currently, nobody's going to be able to, no quarterback is going to last with the current setup of the Bucs offensive line. So what would it hurt for the Bucs to attempt to see how Colin Kaepernick looks in a uniform? That is my thing with Jameis. I know, JB, you are a big fan. I'm a big fan of Jameis, but his time in Tampa, it has to be coming to an end. I mean, you throw 4 interceptions, it does not bear well. And it's like, again, it would be different if Jameis was in his first year and he was throwing 4 interceptions. But this year, you are now, you just can't have it. And I mean, looking at for the season, he's thrown 19 touchdown passes, 18 interceptions. That statistic alone would have another quarterback benched. For his career, he's thrown 107 touchdowns and 76 interceptions. And then when you look in the last 5 years, he leads the league in turnovers. So think Jameis last in the Buccaneer uniform. I mean, again, we talked about, I think he's okay for me getting that franchise tag, and we'll see where it goes from there. But I just, rightfully so, he should get the blame for the way the Bucs have played these last couple years in the season. Now, again, he's not the only blame, as we just talked about the secondary, but, I mean, he takes a lot of that. These turnovers are not acceptable. And going from Jameis to that offensive line played terrible yesterday. Terrible. Nothing was happening on the run. Like Evans, for some odd reason, when he plays the Saints, he looks terrible. I don't know what it is, but the overall game yesterday was terrible. I almost wanted to turn the TV or turn my computer off while I was watching. I wanted to turn it off when it got to 20 nothing. I was like, let me keep watching. But I think the Bucs have a lot of work. When we talked last week, I told you they were going to lose this game. So, I mean, I just, as fans, we want to think the Bucs are a good team. I don't think they're being coached well enough. I don't know if Bruce Arians is just letting the reins go. I don't think Brian Leftwich should be calling plays anymore. The Bucs offense looks vanilla, which is sad because when you looked at a Bucs offense last year, ran by Todd Monken, you saw the trickery plays. You saw the plays that made the Bucs offense potent this year. The Bucs offense looks stagnant. It looks, when you put up 0 points to start a game, the turnover. I don't know what's going on. I don't think Brian Leftwich should be calling the plays again.
He's fine.
It's just a lot of. Go ahead.
He's fine.
No, I don't think he should be calling.
Brian
plays
Leftwich is fine. Man. He's fine.
No, I don't think Brian Leftwich should be calling plays. Again, yesterday it came down to, third quarter. The Bucs had the ball on the 1 yard line. Byron Leftwich calls a slant from shotgun. From the shotgun, you sent Jameis Winston almost 6 yards back when you're on the 1 yard line. That pass almost gets picked off. He runs another play on the 1 yard line. Jameis Winston fumbles the snap. Luckily, the Bucs get the ball back, which pushes them back to the 7. So you now have 3rd and goal from the 7. And luckily, Jameis threw the touchdown pass. But it's like those kind of plays, run it in from the one. You're on the half 1 yard line. Wow. A quarterback sneak gives you a touchdown. Why are you trying to be in shotgun from the 1 yard line? So
yeah, I just saw that play. I just saw that play just now.
And you look at the Bucs next week, the Falcons have passed the Bucs in the standings. The Bucs are now the worst team in NFC South. So it's like
it's all right. We still got playoff hope.
As much trash as we've talked about how the Falcons were this year, the Falcons look good these past 2 games. They beat the Saints first 2 weeks ago, and yesterday they ran through the Panthers. And so the Bucs now play them in Atlanta next Sunday. I don't think the Bucs are going to win that game either. So it's like, again, I know we both agree that Bruce Arians will be back next year. But honestly, if the Bucs finish worse than 5-11, I don't see how any other coach would return. Like, if the Bucs go finish this year 3-13, or 4-12, I don't know how Bruce Arians. I mean, he's probably going to come back because of how the Bucs brought him in. But any other coach will be fired after a 3-13 season or a 4-12 season. And honestly, that's half of what this year is looking like. I give the Bucs a 5-11, maybe 6-10 year, but they're not going to have a better record than what they had under Dirk Carter. And so when you look at that, you can say this year you went backwards. And the reason, and this goes to my last point, the only way you can go backwards with a new coach is you go look at the GM. And I don't see how Jason Light comes back to this Tampa Bay front office. The moves he made has set the Bucs up for failure year after year. The Bucs have had coaching changes. The same product. So if you've had multiple coaching changes and have had the same product, and this year you've gone backwards, it comes down to the talent on the field. And that talent on the field goes back to your general manager. And the Bucs look terrible. The secondary looks terrible. The highest paid offensive line in the league has given up more sacks than any team. Jameis Winston was on his ass more than any quarterback yesterday. I think the stat was he got hurried and hit like 12 times. So you have the highest paid offensive line, but it's not showing on the field. That goes to your GM. I don't know how Jason Light comes back with the job this season, off season. It's just a lot of changes need to be made. And honestly, that when you looked at the stands yesterday, I'm sure you saw it in the highlights you looked at. Raymond James Stadium was empty, and rightfully so. And I know people say, "Oh, the players need the fans there." No, these fans are like, when me and you went to the game a couple years back. We as fans are hardworking people that try to make ends meet, pay bills, and to pay $100+ odd on tickets is a lot for some fans. So you cannot expect fans to support a product that year after year is a freaking laughing stock of the NFL. So I don't have a problem with fans not showing up. You cannot tell fans, "Oh yes, please come pay $150 to sit in our stadium, and we're going to give you a product that the league is laughing about." No, I'm sorry. So with the 3-7 team now, I don't expect fans to show up when the Bucs play the Colts the next home game on December 8th, or when the Texans come on December 21st. Because when the Colts come back, you could be looking at a 3-9 team or a 5-7 team. Why, as a fan, would I want to come out in December weather when my team has no chance of making the playoffs? So I'm done. I'm done talking.
We going to the conference. We're going to the Super Bowl. We might not go to the Super Bowl. I think that's a little bit more realistic. But we definitely going to.
Honestly, seriously.
Yeah, we definitely going through all that. So other than that, man, our offense tough, our defense rough. Go Bucs, go Bucs. Ain't no other team stopping us. Go Bucs, go Bucs. And the Raymond James will do our things every time we score them cannons, bang. If you something, go Bucs, man. You know what? I'm just, Tampa Bay. Hey, man. Oh, I agree with you, that Kaepernick thing, too. I agree with that point, too. I was thinking about it the other day. So I'm like, you know what? I could take Kaepernick and then Jameis Winston on the same damn team fighting for that position or going at it the whole year. I can see that.
I don't think it happens, though, because I think the Bucs are a team scared of the backlash, which I don't understand.
Nah.
It's about winning.
Yeah, they don't want it. They don't want it. They don't want to be that team. But, hey, we need the press and we need the pressure. So, hell. But, it is what it is, man. So, yeah, man. This your boy J.
Before you sign off, I'm interested. I mean, you think the Bucs beat the Falcons next week? It's 2, 3, and 7 teams going at it.
Hey, man. We winning next week, man. We winning next week by 14.
I just look now. The Falcons are 4.5-point favorites.
It don't matter. It don't matter. We're gonna win by 14. We're gonna win by 14. We're beating the Falcons by 14, and then we're gonna take it one day at a time and get to the wild card.
The only thing the Bucs winning right now is this draft order.
Hey, man. Remember what you just said, man.
The Bucs sit at number 6 right now.
Remember what you just said. Remember what you said. Keep that same energy, man. At the end of the season, man. When we get to the playoff, keep that same energy.
At this point, the Bucs, we're at number 6 in the draft order. Might as well make it a top 5 draft pick.
Keep that same energy, man. It's all good.
I want to see the Buccaneers do well because I was listening. I know we're going to say this is going to be a short podcast, but let me throw this in there real quick. I was listening to the post-game stuff on a 95.3 620 WDAE with Mike Clayton. Shout out to Mike Clayton, who we all thought was going to have Mike Evans type career with the Bucs, but I don't know what happened with Mike Clayton. But it was Mike Clayton and T. Christ. They were talking about the Bucs and kind of where do they go from here, and it was brought up like the city and how it helps the city when the Bucs are winning. So I want the Bucs to do well. The Bucs helps Tampa. It helps the Bay Area. It helps fans. It helps residents. You feel better when your team is winning. I want the Bucs to win because I don't like my Sundays being ruined, and then my Mondays I got to go. At the trash I've talked, but I've learned to stop doing that because the Bucs have been disappointing. But I want to see us do well. It's just I'm being realistic, and we have a terrible team. That's just point blank what it is. I want to see Jameis do well. I want to see the Bucs make the playoffs. I want to see the Bucs have a consistency of winning, and that's what the franchise has never had. The Bucs have never been a consistent franchise when it came to winning. The most consistency we've had is those 2-3 years back to back under Dungy, and even then he got fired after the Bucs, couldn't get past that round, the first round. And up to the NFC Championship game, that Rams, what ruling was that? I can't think of the ruling where the NFL had to change the rule when
it was the catch. It was the under catch.
Yeah. So, and then John Gruden came. The Bucs won the Super Bowl in 2002, and then after that, a terrible year in 2003, 2004. The follow. So the Bucs haven't really been consistent, and that's what I want us to be consistent in winning. Like, how do we create a culture like the Patriots? How do we create a culture like, as you see now? Talk about those Ravens and Lamar Jackson. Like, how do you create a culture to where you are consistently putting on a product that your fans can be happy about and the city can be behind? That's what I want for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I want that, but I don't know if it's going to take an ownership change or just putting the right people in places. Clearly, it hasn't worked from Lovie Smith to Raheem Morris to Dirk Cotter to Greg Schiano. Now Bruce Arians. We're now on the fifth coach, and winning hasn't come yet. So I don't know what it's going to take.
Man, our offense up, our defense rough. Go Bucs, man. Ain't no other team stopping us. Go Bucs. Yeah, the Raymond James, we do our things every time we score them cannons, James, whatever. Go Bucs, man. Bump the Bucs, man. All right, man. We're gonna holler at y'all in Spoken Truth Podcast. We out.